Welcome back, folks. In today's show, we have Phil Kluba. He's the Polish dream. He is a content creator. He's a live streamer. He's worked for some seriously badass companies, Facebook, some other bigs out there. He creates content. He live streams. He's ahead of the game when it comes to this new media world that we're all in. So check him out at JustPressIt.ca. That's JustPressIt.ca, just how it sounds. And if you want to start your own podcast, or you want to live stream, or you want to do something crazy on the internet, go to getitgripstudios.com. Matt and Michael can take care of it for you. And if you like the show, tell a friend. Please spread the word. But for right now, Phil Kluba on the Get a Grip on Life podcast. Welcome to the Get a Grip on Life podcast, Phil Kluba.
Kluba.
Oh, see, we started it off right on the wrong foot there.
Probably should have. People get that mixed up quite a bit. But yeah, it's all good.
Is it a Polish name?
It is a Polish name.
So I got that right.
Yeah.
Son.
How'd you know that?
My father-in-law is from Zakopane.
Oh, yeah. That's I know where that is. I'm actually fluent in Polish. I have a dual citizenship.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, so it's a good asset to have.
Dual citizenship, that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the European Union thing
Sure.
and all that other stuff. Yeah.
So all of my kids can get Polish citizenship.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
awesome. Oh.
Yeah, my wife has to do it first. But anyway, we're way off topic. So Phil Kluba.
Yep.
Is the founder and CEO of PressIt. It's a pretty sick website. I went to it. Tell us a little bit about PressIt. What do you guys do?
So yeah, PressIt is primarily a media production company. We do a lot of music videos, commercial content, and recently in like the past year, we've gotten into multiple camera live streams. So we've been doing a lot of Facebook Live stuff. We've done some stuff at Facebook, Shopify Canada. We did a thing on Twitter on their platform for Periscope, and I continue to do stuff for like Rogers Communications. Got another live stream coming up for like William F. White's for their Feb Freeze event, which is like one of the biggest. It is the biggest Canadian film convention. Okay,
so there's some big names on here, dude.
Yeah,
Shopify, Twitter, Warner Music.
Yeah,
what do you got rolling, man?
So for
like these are paying customers of yours?
These are my customers, clients. I haven't done stuff with Shopify and stuff in a while, but like last year it was pretty heavy. We were doing their Shopify meetups, which were happening about once a month. So like it's a panel discussion. We were streaming it. They were talking about like ecommerce tactics, other platforms you can use to like funnel sales, stuff like that. So I'm sitting there and I'm also learning. So it's
sure.
It's pretty convenient. So I developed those relations over the years. So, and a lot of them come from like high school buddies that like ended up building e-commerce website, like an e-commerce company that were like, hey, come on in. And that stemmed into the Facebook relationship because they were at an event there.
Sure.
And then the music stuff, I've been in the music industry since I was 11. So like I've been songwriting, recording music, producing music.
Don't get too complicated for me here, Phil.
Well, like that was a long time ago. Like
sure.
That's how it started off. And then
so now you're on the media production side.
Yeah.
That happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of like, okay, do I want to perform? Okay. I think performing is actually overrated. I don't know if that's like, I mean, I perform on this show, but sometimes I think I just want the money. You know what I mean? Performing can be overrated. I don't know what you think of that, but I think a lot of musicians back out of the performing simply because of the stress and the strain of performing. It's very intense.
Yeah, it is intense. It's very therapeutic though. Sometimes like it's good to just like get yourself out there and like just like talk about what you're doing because you're so stuck in your own world that you're kind of just get like sometimes you get down on yourself, but it's good to come out and do these kind of things and talk to people and talk in front of people because then you learn about it. And it's also great. It's a great marketing tool because you're like more people are like,
talking about podcasting,
even like live, like panel discussions, anything.
Sure.
Whatever gets you out there is a great marketing tool, I believe.
You know, what's funny is that I believe that we're socialized by each other. And a lot of people don't have a tribe to socialize them. They're kind of stuck in these virtual worlds, or they're stuck in these relationships where they don't get the right signals from people. And when you step out of that box and you get into a podcast and you start talking to someone who maybe has a different view than you, but everything's being recorded and put on the internet, all of a sudden you're getting the right signals of how to behave and what the right thing to say is and how to be respectful to somebody else. So I agree with you, dude. It's important for people to get out of their sort of comfort zones, especially today when people find themselves in these tribalistic areas where they personally select every piece of media they consume or they see, and they get stuck in this world of where they don't hear any other opposite opinions.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah.
Who are the Monowells, bro?
So they're a band that I've developed a relationship with over the years. So they were doing some things, they're doing some cool things, and I just like approached them. I was like, hey, I want to do a video for you for free. And then that kind of grew.
So they make money playing music.
So they make money playing music now.
Okay. It's important.
And it's
plus
still
it's
not
a Canadian artist too, right?
It's
not a U.S. artist.
It's not a U.S. artist, and it's like they make money now, but they still have like some side gigs.
Sure.
But recently they were in Germany, and for the Reaper Bomb festival, and like they're planning to just go like straight Europe next time, because they're like the music they're more accepting of them there. To be honest, it's a hard market for music here. But yeah, the Monowells, I met them a few years ago. Did a free video for them. Then they were like, hey, we love your work. Let's maybe make a music video. But prior to that, I approached Facebook telling them, hey, I have this band and this Facebook Live thing's new. I want to like maybe shoot a live stream with that band at your office, which ended up getting 1 million views.
It's just question number 3 right here, bro. That's
and
awesome.
That kind of like opened a lot of doors.
And those are 1 million. Now, in terms of 1 million views, are those international? Is it mostly Canadian views?
It ended up being a lot of South America.
Come on, really, eh?
Yeah. So then I remember when we were like trying to respond to these to South, like we had to like translate, like use a translator and then respond. And then
they don't speak Polish there.
They don't speak Polish. Yeah. Tried it. That didn't work too well. But yeah, so then that led to the next music video, which was Take It Back, which Whites helped us out a lot on. They gave us
Who's Whites?
William F. Whites is a like, I'm not sure what to describe them as, but they have like a studio. They rent gear for all like the major movies in Canada.
So they're a sales and service sales and rental company for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, for that
AV, audio, video, technical gear.
Yeah.
Okay. Monowells, are they putting out original songs?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's another big thing too. I'm getting a little sick of cover bands, bro.
Yeah, it's not my thing. Not really into cover bands.
Yeah, me too. I don't mind someone doing covers. Like, don't get me the wrong way, but it's like if I could live without another Led Zeppelin remake.
Yeah.
If I didn't go the rest of my life without seeing like Lettuce Zeppelin or something, whatever it is, you see that and it's like, okay. So let me guess. There's some other questions here Matt's prepared for me. When you started all this, there wasn't a course in how to get the Monowells in Facebook Canada live stream from Humber College. So you didn't go to school for this.
No, I did not. I actually went to school for audio production. So
college or university or
college?
What?
Like I went to Metalworks Institute.
Okay.
But prior to that, I went to Carleton for communications and I dropped out. But whatever, that's all history.
You joined an elite club, buddy.
And
dropping out.
Yeah. But yeah, there was no school for that.
Did you see this social media, like when you were sort of beginning to do your to sort of walk this Press It road? When did you start Press It?
I started it in June 2014, so about 4 years ago.
Did you bootstrap it, or you have investors?
So funny story. Okay, there was this program because I recently got a grant through Factor for like a song back in the day, and then I was just searching on the internet. And it was like, oh, what's how can I get another grant? So there was one that was like the starter company program through Toronto Enterprise, and the prerequisite was that you had to own a company. So
that's the prerequisite.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make a sole proprietorship called Press It, so I can get into this grant thing. So then I got an investment of $5,000 to like start everything up, and
that's nice.
And a lot of they introduced me to a lot of mentors, and they gave me a lot of business knowledge and like how to do my taxes, which is pretty important. And
that should be taught in school, by the way.
Yeah, that should be taught in school.
Like grade 12 should be how to do your taxes, but unfortunately, we're not going to walk that road.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you see the rise of this sort of live streaming, heavy user or heavy audience engagement social media content before others did? Like I'm talking sort of like there's like this impending sort of ominous, I don't know how to put it, virtual or augmented reality demon about to jump on top of us.
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, I've always had like the dream of being like, hey, what if I owned a news station? Like, what if I owned like a broadcasting company such as like Rogers or Bell Media? And then once like Facebook Live was coming around, I was like, hey, like this is a way that I can literally do the same thing they're doing for like literally no costs. So it's just like a small broadcast rig that you like get into multiple cameras, which I'm pretty sure you're doing right now. And then you just send that out to Facebook, and that's like pretty inexpensive.
It is over for traditional media. Yeah. Like it is over. Whenever you listen to the radio or you watch the news, all you hear is about how the hosts of that show have their own podcast. Yeah. And how the hosts of that show are just getting away from that media source because it's too expensive.
Yeah, it is too expensive.
You know, and nobody, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs over that stuff. But
it's the way it goes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, do you see things going like I have this thing, Oculus Rift? I assume that's one of those headsets you put on, and it's just like you're now there.
Yeah, that's also owned by Facebook. Okay, so that's an.
But the guy quit.
The guy quit? Yeah.
The guy that started Oculus just quit from Facebook.
Well, yeah. That seems to be the trend.
And all the guys that did Instagram quit too.
Quit as well, yeah.
But anyway, Mark, you're on your own, bro.
Yeah, it's all good. Oculus Rift, I'm not sure. Like, some of those things are still pretty expensive. Like, I have a buddy at his office. He has like one of those virtual reality little setups where he has like video games and stuff like that. Like developing these things is still pretty expensive, but I feel like as like time progresses, like the cost of it will decrease and it'll be more viable for like the general public.
So what happens? You ever heard of Moore's Law?
I have heard of Moore's Law.
Okay, so Moore's Law is 18 months. Every 18 months, the price goes down by 50% and the size goes down, whatever. We're in a new time now of Moore's Law where it's more like with LED lighting. I'm in the lighting business. So where the performance of electronic devices gets way better and the price goes down. Yeah. It gets better and the price goes down. And there's like this race to the bottom and the top simultaneously. Yeah. So at the same time, you got to get up here, and at the same time, you got to get down here. And there's this total rush towards being the first to release something, having a patent on it. And there's all these wars going on between these companies. It's an interesting time. I think the only money is in deploying those for like what we're doing here or for what you're doing now. Yeah. So what's your plan, man, with PressIt?
Obviously, I want to get into being a broadcasting company. Okay. So I want to start creating my own content. Like curating our own content as opposed to like being hired by a client and like, hey, film this for us. But I want to like start developing our own TV shows, our own podcasts, stuff like that, and streaming it through PressIt, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So through your site?
Well, our site, I'm not 100% sure. Probably, I guess like platforms such as Facebook and YouTube are still probably better to do so because like just like the user, like
it depends on who you're after, man.
Yeah, it does. Those are still things I'm trying to figure out.
Sure. So we're doing the same thing here, bro.
But eventually down the road, that's where I'd like to be.
Okay, so there's a race to the bottom and the race to the top simultaneously here, and you're in the middle trying to make things happen for people. Yeah. How many employees do you have?
So I outsource a lot. I have like one main guy that just like does all like everything else for me. But then other than that, it's just outsourcing because it depends on the project and the creative people. And I just feel like that's a bit more efficient for me right now. Sure. It's not super cost heavy and it lets me just like roll with the project. So when there is a dry time, it's not like I'm all like spending money at all times. I could always like cut back.
See, the problem with the business you're in is that, so I have a couple different businesses that I own, okay? And there's different types of business. So the most valuable businesses in the world are businesses that are subscription-based. Yeah. So you notice everyone wants you to sign up and pay every month. You ever notice that? Yeah. Right? Or pseudo-subscription-based. Sign up and let us show you advertisements. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's either subscription. So the question is like, who is the customer? So the customer is the person who pays.
Yeah.
Right? So who's Google's customer?
Like all of us, basically.
No,
like,
you're the product.
Like
you're the product.
Like Google.
I'm the customer. So I buy Google AdWords.
Google AdWords.
Right? So I pay for your eyes.
Yeah.
So the customer is the AdWords buyer. The product is the person who uses Google.
Yeah.
Right? So the situation you're in with your thing is that you're neither in a pseudo or a subscription-based business. You're in a project-based business.
Currently. Eventually, like once I start curating content and stuff like that, that's when I can get into subscription-based. But also I need to market that and be on shows like this and let people understand that, hey, maybe this is someone we want to listen to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or you know, if you're someone that people want to listen to, but not only that though, but is someone going to pay you for your product?
Yeah.
Which is your listeners.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to get to a pseudo subscription based business. Yeah, I mean those are valuable. The project work can be highly profitable, but you got to swing through the trees with a knife in your teeth to get from project to project to project to project to project. And then what happens to a lot of guys, this is like your general contractor, your plumber, your electrician, you can only do one project at a time. So it's difficult to scale it.
Yeah, so like I'm at a point where I'm doing like 5 at a time.
Yes,
so
exactly.
And it does get a bit confusing, but I've taken some time to start saying no. And I'm just trying to polish everything off before 2019 so that I could start with a clean slate. Because I got into this whole project thing, and I was like, oh, project. And I'm just trying to like take a step back and understand where I'm trying to go exactly. Because I can't think about like the executive decisions with my business when I'm thinking about a project.
You can't work on your business when you work in your business.
Yeah, exactly.
You're actually like one of the employees, really.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, you're not playing chess. You're a pawn.
Yeah.
in your own game.
So I'm just trying to finish off all these projects. I've started saying no to a lot of things, and then just take a fresh step in 2019.
Can I give you an idea?
Sure.
So when I started a company here called Lighting Solutions, it's an electrical contracting company that installs energy efficient lighting systems for people. Okay. Now I started that off in 1999 by putting a ladder on the roof of my car and going out and changing people's light bulbs for them. Okay, a long time ago. It's not a huge company, but it's a lot bigger than your company. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not enormous, but it's a nice little profitable company. And so when I was out doing jobs for people, changing light bulbs and whatever I was doing, I got so busy that I was starting to get annoyed with people asking me to give them prices and so this sort of stuff, or asking me to do service for them, right? So I came up with something called the fuck you price. Now this sounds horrible, listeners. That's what I called it in my head. Right? And it was bad, but it was like, okay, I'm going to price you 4 times higher than I normally would. And then if you say yes, great. I can afford to hire my competition to do the job for you.
Yeah.
Right? All you want is the assurances I bring to the table. I can do that. So I would do that. You should try that, man.
I've been doing that with a few clients.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like I usually charge X. I'm going to charge you XXXX.
Yeah, it's just because like I get an email and I'm like, I do not have time for this. I'm just going to spit this number out. And if you say yes, then
great.
Sure. But if not, then
I'm moving on. Yeah. It's a good way to start it off. And then actually what happens is it helps you kind of find what the actual price for the service you provide is.
Yeah, which is...
Because you may be undercharging your clients.
Well, I'm definitely undercharging. I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, I'm not charging for creative. I'm not charging for this. All this like pre-production time that I've been spending thinking about this project, I haven't been charging either. So yeah, I definitely undercharge a bit.
We had a guy here in Get a Grip Studios, and we were chatting with him, and like I call it peacocking. I don't know if that's the right word, but what it is it's like when you're giving a lot of your ideas to the client because you're trying to brag about how good your service is. Does that make sense? But really, a lot of that creativity that you're having in the vibe session or in the brainstorming session should be charged for.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it should be. It's like I'm a professional at this. The problem with this industry is that there's no accreditations for it.
Well, like I feel like I'm getting to a point now where I'm getting a bit more confident in all of this. It's like, hey, I have like people know that like there's millions of views on these monorails videos or that Facebook Live, and the quality that we put out is pretty good.
The problem is that most people would associate the views with monowhales and not with you.
Yeah, but a lot of people are like, well, who made this and stuff like that, and it does get a lot of recognition for it.
Does it on the inside?
On the inside, like I've been doing pretty well. I think I've been getting more than the mono-whales have.
Is that right?
through all of this, but it's
sorry, mono-whales. You're
no,
right.
No, I love the mono-whales. We have a great relationship,
Yeah, sure.
but I don't know. Maybe it's been working out well for me.
So something just occurred to me. It's like, so I'm in a bunch of lighting associations. It's like you need an association of live stream broadcasters or something.
Yeah.
Where dudes just get together and gals, and non-gals and dudes, whatever the hell you are, if you want to come out and hang out. But I mean, you get a guy like Matt, who's the producer of the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast, Get a Grip on Life, this show, and all that sort of stuff, and you and a bunch of other people in Toronto, and say, hey, we're just going to get together, and all we do is we produce podcasts. I'm sure this already exists. Maybe it does.
Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. There's a lot. Like I didn't know this place existed, and this place is sick. So
and we advertise like crazy. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's new.
Okay, so what do you think of Toronto specifically? You Toronto-centric? You're always in TO?
I am Toronto-centric. I like Toronto. I feel like there is a bit of like entitlement here for some reason with some people.
Okay. You'll find that everywhere, I think. Bro.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it's a hard market for music specifically, like compared to like the States.
Like Nashville?
Like Nashville,
sure.
Like that.
Austin, Texas?
It's definitely
Portland, Oregon? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a harder city for the music industry. But I feel
that's because it's a hip hop city.
Yeah, I guess because of Drake or whatever. Or I don't know. I don't know
who that is.
Yeah, me neither. Who's that guy? What?
I have an opinion on Drake. You want me to just bring it out?
Yeah, sure. Bring it up.
All right. Drake, I got to break the news to you right here. The bald honky in the Get a Grip Studios here in Toronto thinks you're a fraud. And here's the truth. Your music is all the same. Every time I turn on your music, it's the same beat. Boop, boop, boop. Now, I think you're a really crappy musician, but you're a really smart businessman. Okay? So you're a genius marketer, a genius as a businessman. I don't care if some statistic tells me that you have more sales or whatever than the Beatles or Michael Jackson. I don't think so, bro. Whatever that statistic is, they didn't have Facebook, Instagram, all this other ways to connect with people. They sold vinyl records, bro. So I don't think so. Anyway, carrying on.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
although you're an awesome businessman, dude.
Yeah, he is an awesome businessman, and he always becomes a meme, and I'm like, they planned it. They had to plan all of that.
Guy's a genius.
Yeah, they. So.
But in terms of musician, come on, man.
Yeah, some songs I'm like, okay.
Oh, he's bigger than the Beatles or the Come on, man.
Well, yeah, it's easier to like reach out to everyone these days. But if you type in "the" on Spotify, it's the Beatles right away. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay, so there's probably some other statistics that legitly say put him in the position, but you hear these statistics in Toronto, it's like he sold more albums than the Beatles, whatever it is. It's like, no, dude, I don't think so. Whatever those statistics are, they're not right.
Okay.
But anyway, so yes. But Toronto's not a great music town, dude, and it's because it's a hip hop town. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
If it was a rock and roll town or a country town where people were willing to pay to see live music, they're not willing to pay, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like you go to Nashville, you can't swing a dead hat without hitting a great band.
Yeah.
In Toronto, you got to get in cabs and drive everywhere to go see these things. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but
no, you're like 100% right.
Yeah.
It is difficult. People don't come out to shows. I don't understand why. Like I don't know. It's always been that way too. Like even when I was like younger playing shows, it was like it's always been hard.
Yeah, I mean, and people don't want bars don't want to pay for the artists.
Yeah,
and like you in Nashville on Broadway, you just walk in any bar, dude, and they're all playing great music.
Yeah,
Austin, Texas, same way. So I mean, there's lots of places in the States that support it. I think it's a hip hop town, and hip hop doesn't really translate, maybe it does, into the small bar scene.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody get on a stage in a bar and start rapping.
I think I was at something recently. It was at a place called Regulars. It's like a new bar, but they had like an open mic for like hip hop artists and like R&B stuff. But yeah, I guess it is a hip hop city. If I bring that up, yeah.
Sure. I mean, it is. Yeah. It's a hip hop city, right? So that's why it doesnof have a good music scene. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I don't like hip hop, but I just don't. It doesn't have the same flavor as some of the other towns that are heavy music towns, dude.
Yeah.
And those towns have hip hop in them too, but it's just not. They're not hip hop cities, right? They have a mix of country, rock and roll, whatever. Whew. So what else, dude? What do you got going on? Humor behind the scenes.
So
you think you're funny or something?
It's not like well. There's certain sides of me, I guess, sometimes, occasionally.
How many have you shown so far?
I've probably shown one.
Okay, show me another one.
I don't I don't know. I like to swear. I like to, I'm thinking about from the mono wheels, there's a guitar player named Zach. And right now I'm thinking, him and I, because I've been on tour with him a couple times, and we always eat the greasiest shit. It's always so I'm thinking about making a show just about that and drinking beers and eating these nasty ass.
It's called what's that Anthony Bourdain show?
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain show, but with these two greasy rocker kind of guys, you know. And it's I don't know, it's I think that could be funny. I think it would be funny. People do enjoy it. I make memes. I also have the drummer from the Mono Whales. I made a whole meme account about him, and then it's I just copy and paste his face on things, and I just
See, you know what it sounds like to me, dude? It sounds like you have a knack. I went to your website, which is pressit.com, right?
JustPressIt.ca.
JustPressIt.ca. Yeah, you have an interesting flavor to you. I think you have to deal with the desire of whether or not you want to be the star or you want to make the star.
Yeah. I like a little bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah, you can't do both.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can do both, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's I'm not. What was the manager of the Beatles' name? I mean, what Daniel?
George Martin.
Yeah, George Martin and Daniel Enois or whatever his name is for U2.
Daniel Enois.
Yeah. I mean, these guys aren't stars, man. Maybe they are in their own worlds, but
yeah.
I mean, I think there's a difference between making a star and being the star. And there's different pressures, and I feel like you're torn between the two. It's I know how to make that Mono Whale guy's a real meme and go great, but I'm gonna ride it too.
Yeah, it's interesting. That makes a lot of sense. I do have that conversation within my head. I'm do I be the artist or do I be the person behind the scenes? I've always battled that.
You ever heard that expression? You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
it's actually backwards. You can't eat your cake and have it too.
You can't eat your cake and have it.
It's actually backwards. Having and eating. I don't know how. You can't eat you want to keep your cake because it's pretty.
Yeah.
Or you want to eat it.
Yeah.
So you can't eat it and have it.
That's true.
You can have it for a while and then eat it. But you can't eat it and then have it. It's backwards. Right, so that's where you are. You can't eat it and have it, bro.
Yeah, it's some stuff I
or
need
maybe
to
you
figure
can.
out.
Yeah, I think so.
Know.
I think that's the direction. A lot of people find themselves in this situation. I always say a lot of entrepreneurs, they treat entrepreneurship like a bucket list.
Like a bucket list. Elaborate. I don't
it's on their bucket list. Oh, I tried it.
Oh, no. It's I've always been down for it since I was younger. Even when I was putting on doing shows, I saw these promoters just taking all my money, so I was fuck these guys. I'm going to put on my own shows.
Sure.
It was why am I giving this guy $700 right now out of my hand that I went out and sold all these tickets for?
Sure.
So then I started doing my own shows. I was 16, 17. I've always been into the entrepreneurship kind of thing. I didn't know it was entrepreneurship at the time. I was just I just don't like listening to people tell me what to do. It's I prefer I have my own visions on how things should be run, and I always try to pursue that.
You know what it is? It's interesting about that is that there's this sense of rebellion and independence.
Yeah.
Okay, that you start off with, and then I've always said this to everyone that's always asked me, the longer I've been an entrepreneur. So I've been an entrepreneur almost 20 years now, and the longer I've been an entrepreneur, a father, and a husband, the less judgmental of everyone else I've become. The more it's a real humbling experience for some people. I mean, for me, all the battles, all the stuff that I've been through over the years, and in entrepreneurship and in life in general, which is the Get a Grip on Life podcast, a lot of these things have really taken that edge off. But I think that's what you want to have, is it not?
Yeah. So I've noticed that I've even become calmer about certain situations, things that would piss me off in the past, don't anymore. I'm just
Sure.
It's not worth my time. It's I understand that people are people and they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want, and I can't let that affect me. It's the only thing I'm in control of is myself and my happiness.
No, you can control people.
No, if I
No, you can control them. There's ways.
There's ways
to control them, and in fact, you should.
Through like manipulation and stuff like
no,
that? Or like
what is manipulation? That's a word. We're a bunch of naked apes grunting words. And you say a word to somebody, and it's like it means something to them.
Yeah.
And it means something different to you.
Yeah.
Right? So speaking words are like the second lowest form of communication.
Yeah.
Okay? So the like text message being the lowest. Okay?
Yeah. Text message being the
That's
lowest.
the lowest one. But words like these grunts, manipulation by manipulation. Okay. You're paying somebody, right?
Yeah.
They should do what you want them to do. Then.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Like,
right?
at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're paying them and you're paying for the place they work and you're paying for the assets they use to do the job, they need to be controlled.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. You sit down with a guy, I'll tell you this. All the guys that I know and gals that are the most successful guys and gals out there, they all have a lot of control and visibility into what people are doing while they're getting paid by them.
Oh yeah, well, like obviously, if they're getting paid by me, then they should be doing what I ask them to do. But when it comes to the sense of like B2B kind of relationships, and I'm trying to get something out of like another business owner, and then sometimes I could only negotiate as far as I can.
You should read The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
I should.
That's a really good book, dude.
Is it on Blinkist? Have you used that?
It's on Audible.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know
Yeah.
what Blinkist is, but
Yeah.
it's on Audible. I'm an old white honky. Come on, buddy. I
Yeah.
don't know what Blinkist is. Come on, son.
So
I
Blinkist-
barely know what a podcast is still. Just getting that figured out.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, no. So there's ways and means.
Yeah.
Okay, to and people say manipulation, inspire them, whatever adjective you want, buddy, that works for you. Some people get off on manipulating people. Some people think, oh, I don't want to manipulate. That's so wrong. I want to inspire. Whatever, dude. Whatever it is to get from here to there, to get the team together, to go from, hey, we're here now, we're going there. You call it manipulation, I'll call it inspiration. You call it potato, tomato.
Whatever.
I don't give a shit, bro.
As long as you get there.
I pay the bills. We're doing it this way.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like it. You hurt my feelings. I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that there's a sense there with that. Now, maybe that's because that opinion, maybe that's why I haven't grown as much as I could have. Maybe there's guys that are better able at disguising it.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, man. Whether it's ping pong balls in the thing and a free lunch and whatever, pool tables in the office, they're just trying to get you to stay longer, dude. Hang out at the office. So there's all sorts of ways you can do it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't give up on that, man. Control people, manipulate them, whatever it is you have to do.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do, Philip. I knew I'm way off. So what's it like dealing with a Facebook though, or Twitter? What's it like? Did they get are people there really cocky?
No, actually, well, I don't know. I had a great relationship.
Trash your customer on the Get a Grip on Life podcast. Come on, man.
No. So, so I haven't done much with them in the past year, but when we were working together, it was great. It's like everyone has great ideas. Everyone's supportive. I didn't stay there too long. I don't know what happens behind closed doors. I might have left, and they're like, "Fuck that guy."
Yeah, sure. Who knows?
And they hate me or whatever. But yeah, from my experiences, it's been great.
Yeah.
And nothing too intense. Although like really slow on email responses. that's the only.
Maybe you should Facebook message them.
Yeah, maybe Facebook message them. Yeah, I think I did take it to that extent at one point, and then I got an email. But
okay. So and this was about this monowheels thing.
yeah, that was like that was like 6 months of talking just before like we were able to do that.
Are you married?
No, I'm not.
No kids?
No kids.
No kids.
I'm 26, so.
When I was your age, I had a kid and one in the oven, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was 26. Ain't that young? So, but yeah, I mean that's okay. What am I supposed to talk about here? I'd also like to do it in a traveling limo.
Oh yeah, because you guys talking about like my own like show or whatever.
Yeah,
like I was
right.
like, yeah, I'd be down to do like a talk show.
Can you live stream from a limo? How would you do that?
I think so because so my phone allows like an hour of free data a week. Okay. So I would probably do it like once a week.
Is the cell phone single strong enough to stream?
I've literally done a live stream like from my cell. Like I used a multiple camera broadcast system and then I synced it off my phone once. For some reason, I was at Joe Fresh and they're like, you can't use our Wi-Fi. I was like, what? They're like, customer, I don't know. I was like, whatever. But yeah, and it works. So I would probably do it from a limo. I don't know what I would do in that limo, but
And drink champagne, bro.
Drink
and
champagne.
Throw dollar bills
Throw
in the
dollar
air.
bills and like.
Yeah. Why not? You could probably pull off an event.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 1 million views. I mean, the problem is like I think the market for outrageous behavior is saturated a little bit.
Yeah, it is saturated. I also feel like 1 million views isn't even a lot anymore.
No, it's not.
It's like everyone gets 1 million views these days.
Except for me, I'd like 1 million views. Hey, if you want to view this thing, do it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you could get that with ad dollars and ad spend.
You know what I think? I think there's quality of view too. Now.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of that's changed. I mean, who was it? YouTube is thinking of taking down views as a metric.
Interesting.
Yeah. Where did I hear that? YouTube is thinking of taking it down because I can't remember why, but it's like if you look at YouTube, depending on the topic you can predict the amount of negative views and positive views and reviews based on the number of views.
Yeah.
Right? So there's like real metrics coming out. So, but what they're saying is that, well, there's also quality of from an advertising perspective, right? So my lighting show, we may have 200 views on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
And then 1,000 total downloads of the episode. But everyone that did that, either buys or influences the purchase of $1 million of lights a year.
Yeah, that's
a high quality view.
Yeah, exactly. Like even like Gary Vee touches on that sometimes. Like he mentions that like, hey, it's better to have 100 followers that like actually care about you, as opposed to like 10,000 where like only like 2% of that following likes you.
Or they're bots from China.
Yeah, or they're bots from China or whatever. Yeah, and that
what is with this Gary Vee guy? How old are you? 26?
I'm 26.
Every single white honky I know loves Gary Vee.
Okay, like honestly, like, yeah, he's cool. He says a lot of stuff that's just like basic common sense, and it's just for me. It's for me.
You got to get up in the morning on time, and then go to work. Come on, man. Get your shit together, man. We're gonna go from 1 billion. That's what it sounds like to me. I listen to him.
Yeah. So sometimes it's like, hey, maybe I just need a little reminder, and like he does that.
It's called an alarm clock.
Yeah, basically, yeah, an alarm clock. Yeah. But since I go to Instagram as soon as I wake up, so maybe he's like.
Maybe you need to not do that.
No, maybe it's hard, but yeah.
Maybe it's the other way around.
I've been thinking about it. I'm like considering like how much I've been on my phone in the past year. So like now it's like everyone's just getting addicted to this device. And
you know what you should do? Get a BlackBerry Classic like me.
Oh wow! I used to be all about the BlackBerry.
Get with the Q10, right? And then none of the apps work. Just do it for a month. I'll loan you mine because I have to go with a new phone because I have to do all this Instagram and Twitter because of Matt.
Yeah.
Because he's a jerk and he wants me to make money on social media now. I have to do like this. He's got this plan for all these things, right? That I have to tweet out. And I really resent him for that. But you can have my BlackBerry Classic for a month and see what happens to you. You'll go crazy.
I might go crazy. Yeah. I need to post. I also need to like do all those stuff.
You're going to go dark.
I'm going to go dark. People will be like, oh, it's Phil dead? Like what happened?
Dark. Or maybe no one will care.
Probably no one would care. It'd be like, oh, who's the next Phil? Like,
yeah, or maybe it's all like this self-absorption that's the problem. Who knows? I think there's an absorbing element to social media that a lot of people aren't aware of. And I was talking to who was it? So I have teenage children, okay? And so here anecdotally, girls have trouble with social media and boys have trouble with video games. Okay, like there's some crossover there, but so boys will play video games until they die, until they literally pass out. Like if you gave them Fortnite, they'll play it for hours. Okay, give a girl a thing, she'll be on Instagram for hours. Okay, it's toxic for that age group. So what I've noticed anecdotally is that's the way it goes. Now I was talking to the one of the teachers at school, and they're like, well, your son needs to develop more discipline. And I said to the guy, look, bro, the smartest people in the world are sitting at the office of whoever made Fortnite, and all they do is sit around all day and try to make this as addicting as possible.
Yeah.
And they call it engagement. But these are the smartest people on the planet. I'm not talking about the smartest people in America.
Yeah.
They bring them from Russia, from the Ukraine, from India, China. They mine the smartest people they can get their hands on, and they bring them to Silicon Valley, and they lock them in a room, and they say, make this shit as addictive as possible. Like that's, and then like also, well, when I was a kid, man, I had Wonder Boy on my Sega Genesis. I had to put it away because it was addicting. Ain't the same thing, man.
Yeah, I've never played Fortnite, but I could tell, and then that's how it is with all these platforms, like even Facebook, Instagram. It's like they're just trying to make it as addictive as possible. Yeah, it's.
Remember I told you about words?
Engagement.
We're going to change the words, right? So manipulation is inspiration. Right. Addiction is engagement. I'm engaged in the use of cocaine. Yes, you are, buddy.
Yeah. Recessions are opportunities.
Yeah, they're opportunities. Well, you know, recessions are opportunities. I mean, that's legit. But I don't think there's anything. I don't think anybody's creating a recession in order to get you addicted to an opportunity.
Exactly.
But I think that people are, you know, and it's real. I mean, people sit around it. Instagram. It was funny because my daughter works at Staples as well, and so she's talking about, oh, Dad, you know, I look at the computer screen and it's so ugly. You know, it's so hard to find everything on it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, the function of that computer program is to make sure that the stock is correct. Instagram doesn't care if the information is 100% right.
Yeah.
They don't care about that. They care that it's pleasing to your eye, right, and that it draws you into it and makes you want to engage with it more. So, I mean, I think you should cut off. I think you should go dark. Go hunt for your food in the woods.
Yeah. Go live. Yeah, I've thought about it.
I think you need to do it, man.
Yeah, I've thought about it, like at least for like a month, and like start making my own meat and stuff like that. I think you do it
for like your own jerky, beef jerky. And stuff.
Yeah, then I come back, it's like a whole new business.
Grow a big long beard.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm into it. I've thought about it. It's like, yeah, I really like living in the forest sometimes, and it's a good time.
You could do it. You're single. What do you care?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got a month to throw around.
Yeah, maybe bring some friends along.
I don't know. Alone.
Just alone. I don't know. Probably
go dark.
I'd probably find myself. That's for sure.
Oh, like, yeah, dude. The other place you can go to Arizona or somewhere if you don't like to do it cold.
Yeah, probably Arizona would be better.
Sedona or some of those spiritual places and really connect.
Yeah, I'm totally into it, actually.
Are you into spirituality?
Oh, I dated a girl that got me into it. Okay. And it's definitely like manifesting things and like affirmations.
So what was her deal?
I still see her.
Well, it's an on again, off again thing, man.
No, it's like you like grow, and then like you like relationships with people are like.
Is she Polish?
No.
Oh, first problem.
So the relationships with people are complex.
Of course.
So yeah, it there's levels and like stuff like that. But she did teach me a lot about spirituality, being with yourself, and like affirmations and. Just manifesting things, understanding that like it is what it is, and like you can build your own reality if you want to.
Okay, you just lost me with that one, bro.
I don't know. So did I. I lost myself. Like it's just like
I was with you until the build your own reality.
Technically
we're back to this virtual reality thing
no,
again,
it's like because like
you're streaming onto Periscope.
Don't you ever have like situations where like, hey, I really wish this would happen or something like that, and then all of a sudden like things line up and it just happens?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like my phone is going to ring and then it rings.
Yeah, that works.
But I mean, it's like if you're talking about visualization, absolutely that happens to me. So 2.5 years ago, I visualized a lighting podcast. Now it exists and I get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Right. But in terms of like, I think a lot of people. I don't know how to put it, especially in our society. Because so you're Polish, so you're baptized probably for sure.
Oh,
right?
I'm so baptized.
Right. So you have your first communion.
Confirmed.
Yeah, you got it all going, right?
Yeah.
So but the reality is that your forefathers were Catholic for like 1,500 years, and you're probably not anymore.
Well, like legally Catholic.
No, but I mean you're baptized.
Yeah, I'm baptized, and
right?
all
But
that.
you don't go to
mass? Church all the time. No.
Okay. So right away your ancestors had this spiritual connection, whether you like it or not or whatever. Every Sunday they were going and drinking the blood of Christ.
Pretty much.
Right? So spiritually, they were engaging in some spiritual activity.
Yeah.
Now the naked apes need to do this. They need something.
Yeah.
Right? And so when you found this woman and she started to hey, that spirit thing is alive back there too.
Yeah.
You need to get that thing going. She's probably right, man.
Yeah, she probably is.
So
and like I
that's why you still see her.
Yeah, and there are other reasons, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oof. Spiritually. What else we got here, man? So you do a lot of traveling in limos and doing podcasts. What's going on in the future with PressIt? Where are you going with this thing?
So I think we touched on that earlier. So like I'm trying to step back, probably trying to get into that like subscription model based kind of thing, scale and build it more of a business as opposed to me being like one guy outsourcing a bunch of people here and there and then going home and then writing a proposal for another project. And really just trying to focus on the executive decisions for my business and move toward creating and curating our own content.
Yeah, see, Matt and I are in the same boat.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like we have these skills that people want. And, but how do you go about monetizing it? And a lot of people are in that boat. And I think there's going to be a tipping point where either it gets super easy to do this and nobody needs us, or and I always think there's going to be knowledge that people need, though, like from a Phil or a Matt or someone like that to help them guide them into the world. I don't know, because maybe it's just guys like me that don't know how to do it. Maybe my children will. You understand what I mean? I don't know.
I definitely think that like education is like the way we educate ourselves is going to change.
It has to.
Definitely. I feel like me taking the route of like starting a business and dropping out of school, I feel like I'm a lot more ahead than most people that I know that I went to high school with.
I mean, they're just flat out in debt.
Well, not flat out in like literally debt.
Yeah, debt, college debt or whatever.
Debt. Yeah, they're in debt. They're just like, hey, and I'm not struggling to find a job, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, except for like my friends that became doctors. Sure. But like, obviously. But and then they also feel like they have the sense of entitlement and whatever. And they're like, hey, I know all of these things, and I was like, you actually don't know shit. But
the only thing that you need to know is how to make money.
Exactly. And
everything else is a detail in that.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you? I'm a brain surgeon. Well, so you make money cutting people's heads open? Yes.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I try to tell people that.
Yeah, basically.
They're like, you're so crude. It is what it is, man.
It is what it is. Period. Yeah.
I didn't make it up.
Yeah. Why else would I want to cut a guy's head open? Like.
Yeah, okay, so maybe there's like, okay, I want to be the greatest light bulb salesman of all time. I mean, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, most people, you got to do something you're passionate in, Phil.
Yeah.
No, man, give me the friggin' dollar bills.
That was like one of, when I went into the starter company program, there's this guy named Andrew Patricio, and the first thing he said to me.
Don't say his name unless it's good. You're going to say something good.
It's a good, well, it's a thing that's always like stuck out with me. He said, he's like, Phil, forget about that passion thing. It's not going to pay your bills.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, because I told him, hey, I'm passionate about music. He's like, stop. And like it was like a good wake up call.
I like that. Andrew?
Andrew, yeah.
You're the man, buddy.
Yeah,
I love Andrew.
Yeah.
It's like, get a grip, man. You can't, like passion. You know the other thing, passion's actually bad most of the time.
Yeah.
Like it's almost always bad.
Yeah, because then and also like perfection, like if you're passionate about something and you're striving for perfection, it's like, okay, just get on with it, like get this
not only
done.
that though, but passion is closely related to desire, and desire is a very negative emotion to feel because it needs to be fulfilled. You need something to fulfill the desire, right? So passion leading to desire. I just want to be the CEO of this company that's huge, and when you don't get it, you get pissed off at yourself. Yeah. So passion is not a good thing.
Yeah, because like as soon as you like put an expectation on something, you set yourself up for just like depression, basically.
Yeah, because the desire doesn't get fulfilled.
Yeah, and then
it's a path to being bipolar. Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh man, I tried so hard and I didn't. The universe is against me and all this kind of thing. And I don't know, man. I don't know if that's what it is. I think you got a good head screwed on your shoulders here, Phil.
Yeah. Thanks to Andrew.
Thanks to Andrew.
There
you go. All right. So what else, man? You got any more free money out there? Can you point me where this free money is?
Yeah, maybe some.
Matt and I are going to go after it, Matt?
Maybe look into some of those like starter company grants. I know that it changed, and then they fund things specifically. There's definitely media grants like OMDC. You could probably look. Oh, I think they changed their whole name. It's like Ontario Creates now.
Maybe we'll link to that. If you're listening, we'll have a link to that on the website
so
here. Yeah,
Ontario Creates. I think that's their new thing. I know they just changed it. So like they fund films, like all these types of media. There's a bunch of like CBC shows that are like funded by Ontario Creates. There's probably like Ontario Arts Council. I'm not sure that there's something specific there. I think Ontario creates would be your best bet.
You know what pisses me off more than anything else you said in this conversation, though?
What?
Like, you said that one of the main things that this incubator or whatever it was helped you with is doing your taxes. And that just pisses me off so much, because Ontario is such a shitty place to start a business. I'm going to say it right now. There's so much red tape. The government, there's so many different things that if you start hiring employees, you're so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like once you start hiring employees, you can get sued up the wazoo 6 ways into Sunday. And not only that though, but there's this huge regulatory red tape burden that's on everybody, to the point where if I had to go back and do it all again in this environment, I would move to Iowa. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, it's true.
I would move out of Ontario. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I'm telling you right now, Ontario is not the place for you. It's one of the worst places to start a business in North America. There's way better places that charge less taxes and that'll help you more. Because the bottom line is, it doesn't matter how much Ontario gives you, how much money they give you in some sort of stupid program, if they take it all back when you make it.
Yeah.
And they burden you with all this crazy red tape. What you should really do, entrepreneurs, is join the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. That's the right organization.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
so
the CFIB, man. They're the ones
CFIB.
that lobby the government on behalf of small businesses and medium-sized businesses.
Cool.
So they what they did was they like when MasterCard and Visa. So right now, MasterCard and Visa were starting to take over. So Interac is a Canadian thing, and they charge like pennies per transaction, and it's based on each transaction, not on a percentage of the transaction. Okay? Now, Visa and MasterCard wanted to get their little hooks on Interac and start charging people a percentage of the transaction. So, for example, to do like you walk into my lighting store here and buy $10 worth of bulbs.
Yeah.
And you do that transaction, or you buy $10,000 worth of bulbs. It doesn't cost Amex or Visa anymore to process the 10,000 over the $10.
Yeah.
The transaction cost is the same.
Yeah.
But they charge me per percentage. Now, they wanted to get their little hooks into Interac. This would have cost small businesses friggin' millions of dollars. Millions, because we can't negotiate with them directly. So the CFIB stopped them from doing that and made a law against that.
That's
protected Canadians' Interac system, which is different than the U.S.'s system, right? So they do real things to help entrepreneurs. And they also, there's a bunch of things I'm trying to think that they did. But yeah, we have real problems in Ontario. So it's a problem, dude.
There's that whole like General Motors thing going on right now.
Tell me about that. What's going on?
So like General Motors shut down their Oshawa plant.
Sure.
And like I was just watching the debate between like the political parties about the whole thing.
You have a lot of free time on your hands, eh?
It was just like
No, I get it.
It was just on, and I was
Sure.
like, it's they're just like yelling at each other, and I'm like, okay, this is making no sense. But ultimately, it's like they're leaving because like Ontario doesn't like really make it easy for them to like run their business there. Like hydro bills went up, everything went up.
The Green Energy Act,
Yeah.
okay, which came out. There's one guy who's responsible for a lot of problems in Ontario. One guy. You know who it is?
No.
Okay, so you remember Orange? The Orange
Yeah.
skin?
Oh yeah.
ORNG?
Dalton.
No, hang it. Well, it's one of his henchmen.
Okay.
Green Energy Act,
Yeah.
Orange, eHealth. They all have one guy in the eHealth scandal.
Okay.
They all have one guy in common. George Smitherman. Oh, yeah.
Didn't even know that name.
Furious George. He ran for mayor of Toronto against Rob Ford.
Oh really?
That was the guy Rob Ford beat in the mayoral race.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he was the Minister of Energy. He was the Minister of Health. And he's the most scandal-laden politician in the history of Ontario, Mr. Furious George. So he is one of the greatest enemies of the state of Ontario in the history of Ontario. But, I mean, Ontario used to be the Switzerland of North America.
Yeah.
Low energy costs, smart people, healthcare system, all these advantages. And we've taken those advantages and turned them upside down. And this is not a liberal conservative thing. This is just we're too rich for our own good thing.
Okay.
You understand? Like Ontario is so wealthy as a jurisdiction. It's incredibly wealthy. There's not a lot of places in the world that are as rich as Ontario. Like if Ontario were its own country, it would be massively wealthy. It has everything in it: water, wood, oil, not oil, sorry, but like minerals and mines and everything, right? But the reality is we've been so poorly governed in the last 15 years that we've taken something that's so wonderful and beautiful and we've destroyed it. And it's really sad. It's not destroyed. It's been damaged heavily. And hopefully it can be fixed. I'm not sure, the powers that be right now are able to fix it. But the problem is, Phil, most people that would be good at politics would never want to wade into that swamp.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad always told me, he's like, don't be a politician. He's just like, it's not for you. You'll be stuck.
Yeah, dude, it's gross. You gotta please all sorts of different special interest groups in order to get elected.
Yeah.
It's just it's become a really nasty game. But this has become a podcast about my political opinions. I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that.
I'm not allowed to do that. No, anyway, it was fun. Whatever, man. Whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not hiding here, man.
Cool.
Everything's open book. So Phil, give us your website.
www.JustPressIt.ca.
And I assume you're on Facebook?
Facebook, Instagram. There's a Twitter. Not too crazy about it. I have a personal Twitter.
Sure.
Philanthropy with 2 Y's at the end.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. Okay, so we'll post to those on your website. And what kind of customers are you looking for?
More bigger name clients. Like I like the Rogers. I like the William F. White stuff. I like the Facebooks. I like the Shopifys.
Sure.
Or just like fun people. I like if I'm gonna work with someone, I'd rather have fun.
What about someone with money?
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, they're great. Yeah, fun and money.
People with money.
People that are fun and have money.
There you go. Thanks for coming on the show,
Cool.
Phil.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem. Do you want to start your own podcast? Come on, I know you do. Do you want to start your own video blog, your own show? Do you need to do some promotional videos for your company? Something professional to throw out there on YouTube to tell all your fans about you, all your customers so they can watch something about you? Come into GetAGripStudios.com. Come on in. Go there to the website. Come on in and see us here at Victoria Park and Steeles in Toronto. You can do it right here. You can do it virtually through our virtual studio. And if you need someone to ask you questions, do you need somebody to talk to you about your product? Someone that's professional? Someone, I know someone like that. Who is it? I can interview you. I could sit down. I'll become familiar with your products, and I can talk to you about what you want to do with your customers online. Yeah, it's great. I've done it about 3 or 4 times now. So go to GetAGripStudios.com. Check it out. Yeah, it's fun as heck. You can get paid to do it, or you can, help your customers out, do whatever you want. And I'm pretty good at doing that. So go to GetAGripStudios.com. Phil Kluba, he's a content creator just like us. It's fun to have him in studio. He's really big into live streaming. He's worked for some big companies. Come on, Phil, you did a great job with that. I think, Phil, you know what? I think you need to figure out what you want to be, though, son. You got to figure that out. It takes time. You got to figure it out, but the sooner the better. So go to JustPressIt.ca for that badass Phil Kluba kind of Polish thing he's got going on there. And, of course, go to GetAGripStudios.com. Check it out. Or get a grip on life. Share it with a friend. Tell a friend about us, man. We got a lot of good stuff out there. Matt and I have been putting together over the last 3 to 6 months. So check it out. Thanks for listening.